Okay, hello everybody. Today I'm going to be going over some deep dish that I made yesterday. It's a pizza that I spent almost an entire year learning how to perfect. I learned how to do it the normal way, and I also learned how to make it gluten free for one of my family members for when she came to visit me. So, because she had never had deep dish before, so that was fun. After doing all that, I really couldn't eat deep dish for like a year, 2 years, because it took a lot of practice. But now I generally make it once or twice every winter. So let's go. I've got about 30 minutes of video here, and I'll probably skip through a lot of it. So here we go. I'm just measuring out my flour. Flour go goes. I will post the link and the description to the recipe that I use this time. You can see me hesitating right there because I'm like, that doesn't look like enough flour, but yeah. I always try to get all my stuff together before I get started, but as you can see, I'm like, oh shit, no, I'm missing something. Where's my cornmeal? I find deep dish pretty easy to make. It's a more forgiving dough than most because it's not too wet. But yeah, I totally threw myself off right there. I'm like, I didn't have my stuff together. And because right there I lost my mind, I put in half a cup of cornmeal instead of a quarter cup. So wound up putting way too much, and I wound up remaking the dough off screen because as I was putting away my camera, I looked down at the recipe again. And I'm like, oh shoot. But anyway, deep dish does have a few more ingredients than just your standard pizza dough. Instead of just flour, water, yeast, this also has butter and cornmeal in it. So first you mix up all your dry ingredients. And then you do the mix. And you will add your liquids in. There goes the butter and then the water. And I tapped on it to remind myself this water is warm. So just like turn your water on full hot for about a minute or so till it gets nice and warm. And that's all you need to do. You don't need to boil it or anything like that. Just don't put like ice water in there. I didn't put in all the water the first time because I was still feeling a little weird about, I'm like, this isn't that much flour. So, but no, it was right. Again, you can use a stand mixer for this. I don't. And I've come to the conclusion there's nothing wrong with the stand mixer, and it's not about the feel at all. It's just I don't know how to use a stand mixer, right? Hi! So we're just going over deep dish pizza today. I suck at using a stand mixer. I don't know why. I do it too fast or I do it too slow. I just always wind up breaking my gluten when I use a stand mixer, so I do everything by hand. So it's all mixed up, and now we just get to kneading it. When it starts sticking to your hands, just dip your hands in that flour and it'll keep the dough from sticking to them. But yeah, so making the dough is pretty easy. You just mix all your stuff together and then give it a good knead. We speed this up a bit. Looks like it's almost there now. Now, since this has cornmeal in it, it's not going to get as shiny and smooth as like a regular Italian style dough. But you'll see it start trying to spring back on itself, and that's when you know it's good and done. So, yeah, it looks like it took me about 6 minutes of just hand kneading it, so not that long. So then you just oil up the bowl, and the bowl you're going to put it in to rise. And then it's going to sit for about 2 hours. Whee! Wet paper towels are your friends. They keep the dough from drying out while it's rising. Right, so here we go. The first rise is complete. So we're just going to smush all the air out of it and then roll it out to get it ready for lamination. Lamination is how you're going to get all those nice pretty little layers in the crust, because deep dish is all about those layers. And we are just a rolling. Whee! So now, mistakes were made, and soon you're going to see me run off camera. So what you want to do after you get it rolled out is spread a nice thin layer of butter on it. Except for my butter was still too hard. So I had to plop it in the microwave for a little bit, and then it got too soft, but you know what? We make do. It's fine. Just slather that butter on there. Oh, now I sound like that celebrity who's all about, like, what is it? Butter and there's another thing. Mayo? Yeah. But no, we're not like that here. But we are putting a lot of butter in here so we can get those nice layers set. And like most pizza recipes, this recipe is going to make enough for 2 pizzas. So you'll see that in just a bit. I will cut it into 2 balls. So you're going to roll it up long ways. Like the opposite of a cinnamon roll. Cinnamon rolls you roll up short ways. With these, you want to get a bunch of layers, so roll it up as so you can get lots of little layers in there. Then once it's all rolled up, we're going to chop it up and make 2 balls with it. I did a really bad job of having all of my mise en place and ready for this. See? Nice little pretty ball number 1. And then with the second one, I think I hold it up to try to show you all the layers in there, but I didn't get it close enough to the camera. Yeah, see, all those nice pretty layers are going to make for a really flaky crust. Alright, so they rose for another hour. While that happened, I went ahead and got out all my ingredients and browned up the sausage. I can't call this a Chicago style deep dish because with those you have one big fat layer of sausage on the bottom. I can't do that. Anytime I try to make a big sausage patty, like the middle winds up raw, and so we get sausage crumbles. So here I'm actually experimenting, and instead of freezing one of the balls or making 2 pizzas, I'm going to try to make breadsticks out of the extra dough. And this dough isn't really for breadsticks. Like, it's to make a nice, strong, flaky crust, which means a little more tough than what you'd want breadsticks to be. But we're trying anyway. Why is my camera so wobbly? So yeah, just cutting it up and rolling it into little breadsticks. Should they all be the same size? Yeah, but I didn't have a lot of hope for these anyway, so I wasn't really too picky about it. But presentation was always like my least strong point when I was taking culinary arts. Like, I could cook. My teacher loved me, but my plating, oof, nope. Can't decorate for my life. So you see all those layers in there? And there'll be even more in the actual pizza itself because it gets rolled out a lot thinner. So that's just a mixture of olive oil, Parmesan cheese, parsley, garlic powder, and a little salt. But you can put whatever on your breadsticks that you want to if you're making breadsticks. And I think the olive oil actually did a good job of kind of help sealing it up a little bit because they actually turned out pretty good. So let's speed up a little bit. And here we go. Getting ready to make the pizza. You can't hear it, but there was a very satisfactory thump when I threw that down there. And now we just roll it out some more. I'm almost as bad at rolling dough as I am at stretching dough. So you just do your best to get it into a nice big circle-ish shape. Make it bigger than you think you need to, because the pan's deep and you need it to go all the way up those sides. There we go. It looks like it's finally starting to like hold its shape as I'm rolling it out. But yeah, right about now is generally when I bust out the wine. You can't do it any earlier. If you do it before you're actually assembling, like by the time you assemble, you're not in the best shape. Then you just flop it in the pan, and now you're gonna work on getting all the air bubbles out, making sure it's all the way up the sides. And you gotta be careful because it really likes to trap air in the corners around the edges. So you just smish that down. Don't worry, it's not going to stick. You've got a nice buttery dough. It's cast iron. You're fine. Just press that in there. As you see, you don't really got to be that gentle with it. It's a very forgiving dough. Few extra ingredients, few extra steps, but a lot easier than making like a normal Italian style pizza. So there you go. You are ready to assemble. Why'd I walk away that time? Oh, because I forgot to get my spoon for my sauce. You can make your own sauce, but with deep dish, it just doesn't give me fresh feelings, so I'm like, I don't need a fresh sauce. And I was struggling to get that cheese open, so I busted out the scissors. Now, a lot of people, when they make deep dish, they just go straight down with their sausage on the bottom. I like doing a layer of cheese first, just because I think it helps protect the crust from getting sogged up. Like, nobody wants a soggy crust. And I go super lazy mode and use sliced cheese. Just because I know its moisture content isn't too high, and I don't need a thick layer of cheese. The thinner the layers, the better, because then you get more layers. And deep dish is all about the layers. So I go cheese, sausage, pepperoni, cheese, sausage, pepperoni, cheese, then top it with a layer of sauce. And as you see, we do not skimp on anything going in this pizza. My dog is demanding his pepperoni tax, and he doesn't get it until after I've done everything and it's off camera. So you just make sure you get a good solid layer so that when you cut into it, you can see the layers. So much meat. I like to use shredded cheese because it gets in there and fills in the gaps. But that's really the only shredded cheese I use, is to kind of fill in the little gaps. More cheese, and then more meat, and then more cheese. There is nothing healthy about this pizza at all. And try to make sure you get a decent sausage. Um, I cheaped out and got like a Jimmy Dean spicy sausage or something like that, and it was way too salty. So, get some good sausage. If you use other ingredients, because I would really like to try doing this with mushrooms and spinach one day, I'm just worried about it because you've got to be careful about your moisture content because you don't want this to become like a soup. The dog is losing his shit. He's like, I haven't had my pepperoni yet. Right. And the final layer is the sauce. I also struggle to get this open. I fight and I beats it and it still doesn't cooperate. So I'm about to run away and grab a knife. There we go. Hi, welcome. How are you today? We're just going over pizza. So this is actually the last layer. Just you put that sauce on there. Don't be scared. It'll kind of go down in the layers, but it's not going to sog up the pizza because it's all the way up there on top. And then in a second, you're going to see me add just a little bit of cheese on top. And I do that so I can kind of keep an eye on how it's cooking through. You want it to be looking a little burnt on top, but not really. And then you know it's cooked all the way through. I think the recipes say cook it for 30 minutes, but I find it kind of depends. So I just keep an eye on it. Now, this is me saying this is hefty. It's heavy ass pizza. All right. So I've cleaned up and the breadsticks are coming out of the oven. And I'm actually realizing I'm happy with them. Normally they turn out like bricks if I try to use like a deep dish crust to make them. But watch this. Nice pretty layers and come on, do it. Snap. I was super happy with those. Oops. Time to refill. And I think that means I'm about to bring the pizza out of the oven. So all in all, by the time we get to this point, I've been in the kitchen for like 4 hours. Again, I'm like, this is a hefty bitch. So when you pull it out, you're not going to be able to take it out of the cast iron right away because you want to let it settle a bit. But you can go around the edge just to make sure that you don't have any cheese sticking or anything like that. So you see I have a bit of cheese overflow in that corner there that I'm just going to cut through. Okay, and then I just left the camera rolling when I didn't need to, so let's speed that up a bit. Alright, so now we depan, and this is the test. Does the bottom fall out? The ingredients say were they supposed to? Yes, they did. So you see, it should hold itself up and be good. So we are just about done with this video. Just cutting through that crust. Find it easy just to stab through the top and then saw through the crust. If you have too much moisture in there, by now you'd be able to tell it would just be oozing out of the bottom. But we did good today. Yay! Ooh. Almost lost the slice. I just cut it into quarters. We normally only eat 1/4 each and the rest gets saved for later. But I just like getting everything off the cutting board. And you see, you've got your layers. And see, you can hold it and wiggle it around and it holds its shape. That's how you know you have succeeded at deep dish. Oh, here's the depanning. I saved my video out of order. So you guys get to watch this. So yeah, you just wiggle your little spatula around and then flop. You pat the pizza. Alright, so that is it for deep dish pizza. Anybody who joined and watched along, thank you. It was fun. I like making these videos. They're a bit of work, but it's worth it. Pizza's something I do well. That's it for now. I might be back on later playing some Genshin, but I owed some people a deep dish video because they asked for it. So, yay!